What's up, guys? Welcome to G Whiskey. My name's Jeff. This is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, let's jump into our review. Today, we're looking at the Glenlivet Licensed Dram. Stick around. Alright, so this is one I've been looking forward to trying for a really long time. I've got Glenlivet's Licensed Dram here. And this is a whiskey that I've been excited about since before it came out. This one came out last year, I believe, in other markets, but we only got it here in Taiwan like a month ago. But yeah, I've been looking forward to trying this one since I first tried Illicit Still. I guess that's 2 years back now. Illicit Still was the first in their original stories series. This one is the second. Apparently, we're meant to get 3 of these. And yeah, Illicit Still was it was a breath of fresh air from Glenlivet when it first came out. That one, like this one, was craft presented, or actually, I'm not totally sure about chill filtration or color, but at the very least, we had a solid ABV, and we had a really nice set of flavors. Now, this line is meant to be a throwback to the Glenlivets of old, although they aren't peated, and old Glenlivets were, but honestly, I'm not too concerned about accuracy as long as they're giving me a good whiskey. And yeah, Illicit was a really good whiskey. It was much bigger and bolder and dirtier and brash than the very safe Glenlivet 12 that we're used to. Now, I'll admit I've got a bit of a soft spot for Glenlivet. I always have. In fact, they're one of my favorite distilleries. They first blew me away when I tried a signatory offering from them maybe 12 years back. That one was heavily sherried. It was absolutely delicious. And I also used to really love the Nadura line back when it was age stated at 16 years old. They've also put out a couple special releases here in the Taiwanese market that are spectacular if you're into your sherry bombs. First fill Oloroso matured, 13 years old, cask strength. Really good stuff. I used to love the 18-year-old before they brought the ABV down to 40%. It used to be 43, but it was still really good. And of course, we had Illicit Still from a couple years back. Really enjoyed that one. Illicit Still was made to honor the whiskey that they used to distill at Glenlivet before they had a license to distill, or a license to dram. And our licensed dram came after that, or is in honor of the whiskey that came after that. Which, you know, nice little narrative there from the marketing team, if that happens to interest you. Nothing wrong if it does, but I'm interested to dive into the whiskey and see what that's all about, so let's do that. And in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. For our specs, we've got a wonderful 48% ABV. In terms of chill filtration, I actually can't be sure. They don't say anything about that, but I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt just because our whiskey's at 48%. If you guys know any differently, please let me know down in the comments, but yeah, we'll say for now that it's non-chill filtered. As for color, I'm going to say probably. I did check a couple German websites that said this does have color added. Now, apparently those aren't always to be trusted. The websites aren't always updated properly. But just looking at the whiskey, I'm going to guess, yeah, there is a little bit of color in there. Again, if you know any differently, let me know down below. Still, we've got 2 out of 3 from an affordable, age-stated Glenlivet. So honestly, that's enough to put a smile on my face. Alright, so I actually really like this look. I like the squat dark bottles, I like the weathered label, I like the classic look. Not every brand nails the throwback look, but I think these guys do. And I like that they carried over the look they established with the Illicit Still. It gives the series a sense of cohesion. Overall, big fan, 5 out of 5 for presentation. It does say first fill casks on the front label here, but it doesn't say exclusively first fill casks, so we don't know too much about the maturation. In fact, it talks about George Smith getting his license to distill, so fair enough. I would love to see non-chill filtered on here if it actually is. That's something you'd want to brag about. They're not going to brag about adding color. Overall, yeah, the information's a little bit sparse, but again, I do like the bottle. So I did add a touch of water. Let's try the nose. That's nice. That's rich. It's fruity. It's actually kind of waxy. Vanilla fudge. We have a big pineapple note in here, or even pineapple cakes, which is something Taiwan is very famous for. They're not actually cakes, they're more like pastries. That's in here. We have a floral honey. Actually, the vanillas and caramels and woods in here are very forward, so we've got a big first fill bourbon influence. We've got apples and apple pie. And I saw a review online that mentioned a hoppy IPA in the nose. I totally get that. This is a really nice nose. And now our palate. Okay. Nice, thick, sweet arrival. It is waxy. It is oily. Loads of caramelized apples, apple pie, cinnamon, pastries, that kind of thing. It's not quite as hot or as dirty as the Illicit still, but it does carry over a little bit of that edgy profile. We have a note in here that's somewhere between like earth and minerals and metal. It sounds bad, it's actually delicious. And at the heart of this whole thing, we've got a big juicy pineapple note. It's nice. Now our finish. Okay. Fruit, honey, earth again, metal again. And I should point out, this is not the like hot, sharp metallic note you get in whiskeys that are just too young. This is more along the lines of copper pot still metallic tinge that you get in a lot of Irish whiskeys. It's good. We've also got that signature pineapple note in here, but it's more like Del Monte canned pineapples, or even just like canned fruit salad in here. We have some gentle baking spices. Our finish is medium to long. Very nice. So this is an interesting successor to the Illicit Still. Again, Illicit Still is a bottle I really got behind, but it did have a bit of heat to it. It wasn't refined, although I thought that added to its charm. But it does feel like for this one, an effort was made to address that. As I said, this one is the second of 3 planned releases, although I do hope they keep the line going. It's really interesting. And they've already proven that there's a big demand for craft Glenlivet. The first one sold well. I know this one's selling quite well too. But yeah, like, what kind of sequel is this? Is this an Empire Strikes Back? Or is it Space Jam 2? Space Jamier. Well, luckily it's the former. I do think this is a step up from the Illicit Still. Not a huge one. Again, I did like the dirtier side to that one. But I do appreciate that they kind of doubled down on the fruitiness for this one, and they also softened out some of those rougher edges. It really does work. It's still got a lot of the elements that made the Illicit Still such an interesting whiskey. It's just more polished. I think our first fill casks had the desired effect here. This whiskey is rounder. It's certainly more accessible. But again, we didn't lose the weight of the flavors that made the first one so interesting. And that's actually a tough thing to balance. So really well done. Also, if you're a fan of pineapple notes in whiskeys, which I am, I think this one's going to work for you. And also, if you're a fan of just big, healthy ABVs. Again, this one goes beyond the minimum of 46%. We've got a nice, strong 48% flavor profile. It's big, it's bold, it's got all the testicular fortitude you want from a 48% whiskey. Kind of want to put testicular fortitude on the thumbnail now. No context. Just a picture of me, picture of the bottle, and those 2 words. Probably shouldn't. Anyway, I basically have nothing bad to say about this whiskey. I think it's fantastic. We have great flavors in here. It's got a lot of the elements that you liked from the first one carried over. Maybe some of the elements that you didn't like in the first one, they're not likely to show up here. Overall, it works. There's just a lot of general yumminess here. Score's 89. Hell, maybe that can be my thumbnail quote. Just a lot of general yumminess here. Why not? So, obviously, I really like this whiskey. I really like this series. I hope we don't just get a 3rd bottle and then we're done with it. I hope they keep it going. This one has been really hyped up recently in Taiwan. All the shops are selling out. So I guess it wasn't just me who got really excited about it. So yeah, the first one sold well. I imagine this one is selling better still just because Original Stories is more established now. I don't think we're seeing the fervor in the West that we're currently seeing right now here in Taiwan for this bottle. To be fair, we just got it like a month ago. But still, even in the West, people are buying this bottle and they're enjoying it. And I'm sure that Glenlivet is enjoying the fact that the whiskey community is getting behind one of their releases. And I'm sure they're also enjoying the money that follows. But listen, this is a whiskey that's made for us with the specs we want, or at least the ABV that we want, and the whiskey's good. So this really does feel like a win-win situation. The brand is making money. Of course, their business, that's what they're supposed to do. And they're also putting out whiskeys that don't just cater to the casual consumer. They already have plenty of those. They're also putting out stuff like this that caters to the nerds like us. And I really appreciate having the option to buy an age-stated 48% quality Glenlivet product, and I really hope that option sticks around down the line. So our value here is pretty good. I checked the international prices for this, and actually the value is excellent. It's a really good bang for buck whiskey. Unfortunately for me here in Taiwan, the price is artificially inflated because of all the hype recently. So I paid more than the international standard price, but even then, I did buy a backup. I won't be going through it like I did with the Illicit still. It is more expensive, but still happy I bought it. Of course, most of my viewers aren't in Taiwan, and I think it's only here where we're seeing like this mad scramble for this bottle. Elsewhere, it does seem like they made enough of it to go around. It's a great whiskey. It's at a fantastic price, so very highly recommended. I'd say pick it up. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Otherwise, you can like, comment, and subscribe. That is always appreciated. Of course, I do want to hear from you. Have you tried our licensed Dram here? Have you tried the Illicit still? How would you compare them? What are your thoughts on value here? And finally, down in the comments, you can also let me know what you want to see me review next, and I'll keep it in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.